Yay! Welcome, Mikki, to the There She Goes podcast.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to welcome you all to my dear friend Mikki. So, before we jump into her story, I'll do a quick introduction and bio. Talk a little bit about how we met, and then we're going to dive right in. So, Mikki, for those of you who don't know, is the founder of Passion Threads Co., an apparel brand created to remind women of their power and worth. And yes, I am sporting a Passion Threads shirt right now, and so is Mikki. So, check out the YouTube video if you want to see her clothing line in person live. So, besides Passion Threads, she's a busy woman. She's also the founder of Solutions by Mikki, a virtual assistant partnership that supports female business owners in getting out of the weeds so they can focus on their true genius. And Mikki, don't forget, you're also a co author of the book This Time It's Personal, where we both got to write chapters in that book. So obviously, make sure to check out the show notes. I'll be linking all the resources in there. So founder, double founder, and co author. Welcome, Mikki.
Thank you. I'm so excited.
I'm super excited too. It's just like this is a really fun full circle moment. So, for those of you who don't know, I did already actually feature Mikki. She wasn't on the show as a guest, but I talked about Mikki in the episode There She Goes Learning to Delegate. I was sporting one of her collaborative clothing lines with Liz, my other friend, who did the line Mujer sin culpa. So, I was wearing that shirt. Make sure to check out that video as well. But now I actually get to have Mikki live with us, so I'm really excited. And just a quick little plug about this specific shirt, Unstoppable Together. I just really love this shirt because it really speaks to the power of community. And that's exactly what brings me to how Mikki and I met. Mikki, I just can't believe that we met February 2025 in a Galentine's event. And like you stood out to me, like we chatted, like you were one of those people that I chatted a little bit more with, but never could I have imagined that we would like have gone through everything we've gone through to this day. And through that event, I think you were there to, of course, as a vendor, but you were also supporting Caitlin, who was a speaker at that event. And then
Yes.
when I was thinking about joining Ascend, which was is now called Embodied Earner, for Caitlin's group program, I reached out to you. I'm like, Mikki, like, how do you like working with Caitlin? And you were like, glowing, raving reviews. And then the rest is history. I joined the group membership, and here we are. And I think both of us have a lot to share about the complete 180 that we've experienced over the past year.
Oh, yes. No, for sure. For sure.
Awesome. All right. Well, then let's get started. So, I think we talked a little bit about your credentials now as a founder, double founder, and co author. But what people might not know is your previous background as a paralegal. So could you walk us through like what okay, let's go college to, you got your first job. Like what made you go into that field, and what was it like working as a paralegal?
So I think I ended up going into paralegal, like just that whole background because everybody was like, you'd be such a good lawyer. I didn't want to go the whole lawyer route. So I was like, I can do a paralegal. And through that process, I learned a lot because I learned to take my skills that I have. I'm really good at like taking that pressure on and like working really efficiently, things like that. And you have to be had those skill sets in order to be a paralegal, and of course like detail orientated things like that. I had done that for a little over 10 years now. So and plot twist was let go of my job. So I'm like, well, we're gonna go 100%, with the founder of the Solutions by Mikki and move forward with that. But um I enjoy doing it. I enjoy working with multiple people, to be truthful with you. Like, it's fun because it's something different every single day. I'm not just doing like one thing only every single day. So there's always um those like little challenges or the little fires to burn, I was like the go-to person when it came to that. They're like, Mickey, how do we do this? How do we resolve this? And that's like finding a solution even for those, like as a paralegal and like helping people and like, I don't want to say coaching, but like mentoring, paralegals that are like newer, like legal assistants, things like that.
Mhm. Yeah, so clearly your paralegal experience led you to recognize that you have the skill set that lends itself perfectly for virtual assistant for these high achieving, fast paced business owners, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, for sure. And I think that's why I decided to go that route in general, because I was doing it slowly while I was still working. And then, of course, once I got the news of I'm not going to be working there anymore, I'm like full blown, let's move CEO life and do the solutions by Mickey. And the skill sets, to be truthful with you, it blends in so seamlessly as a paralegal. Like for somebody who, if you don't know how to do something, I will research and figure it out. I'm really good at researching for being a paralegal. So that like brings it over really good too.
Ooh, I really love that. Just this confidence about being able to figure it out because you just mentioned we kind of blew past it, I know. Punchline, plot twist. You got laid off after a 10-year career. So like it's like let's go back to that and like really highlight this moment. This was like what, how many months ago? One, 2?
2 months, 2 months, February 19th or whatever it was, somewhere in February.
There you go. Okay, we're in April recording this
Yeah.
episode. So a little, just a little bit over 2 months ago. Like that's a big deal for a lot of people, and I'm sure it was a big deal for you. So can you walk through like what that moment actually felt like, in the moment? Because of course it might not be the same as what you're feeling now, but then how did you recognize this confidence and your ability to be like, okay, I got laid off, but I can figure things out.
So in the moment, of course, it was like a shocker because of course I've never had one write up, nothing like that. So I was more in a shock, like, and I think the way it was being done, right? Like there was nothing being foreseen of it. And once, of course, the little trickle things happen in the morning, and I was like, this is for sure that's what's happening. I was more in shock. And I think the biggest thing is from having working for a company for at least 4 years. And when you ask, well, why am I being let go? Right? Like, what happened? And no response, it's the firm's not going to disclose. That's like, I don't know if we can curse in here, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, um, it's the whole part of like, what the hell just happened, of more of the shocker, and just, you almost feel like, what did I do wrong? That was the
Yeah.
initial feeling, of course, that came up. But realistically, I had to shift my mindset and be like, you know what? It's their loss. It's not my loss at the end of the day. I have something else that I've already started to create, and I'm going to move forward with that. I am going to be my own CEO, and I'm not dealing with this ever again. Kind of that's where my mind shifted. And I also knew, if I don't know, like, let's just say a specific program that I might be doing for as a VA for somebody, I have so much confidence in myself to be able to figure it out because I did that also as a paralegal. They threw new programs at us. I was in multiple departments and things like that. So I pick up on things very, very fast. And that's where I was like, you know what? No, you've got this no matter what. Because everything is figureoutable. And that's just what it is.
I love that, but I think, do you feel that you always had this confidence that you would be able to figure things out, or did you feel like, is there a moment that you were like, is there something that led you to recognize this ability in yourself, or you've just always been that kind of like scrappy, person, let's get things done, we'll figure it out.
I think I've always actually been that scrappy person. And I think that comes also from being a single mom in the beginning, right? Too, with my son. So it's like figuring it out, like, okay, well, how do I make this work? Or how do I, get a babysitter for him in the way, like a daycare kind of thing. And the research of like, where's a good place? It's like, figuring out all those things, I think help me realize. And I also had a mom who was like very scrappy too, like everything we could figure out. Like, it's just, there's nothing that can stop us. It's just you figure it out. You ask for the help. You can ask somebody else that might know it before us. It's like, hey, how'd you do that? Like, there's not, what's the worst? I'm not going to give you the advice. That's, like, what's the worst? Just ask.
Yeah, just ask. I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Unstoppable together. I
Yes.
think, well, speaking to that point though, like you said, like, yes, so you're a single mom, but you have your mom or you have other people, right, to reach out to that can help you along the way, whether it's from advice or like literally from a practical standpoint, like holding your hand, right, and going with you. So how has community impacted your journey? And then just like maybe speak to some of the communities because you and I forgot to mention not only did we do the group coaching program with Caitlin, we're also part of the She Is Worthy community, which happened later down the line. So it's been really fun getting to collaborate with you and just like get to know you throughout all these different community spaces.
Yeah, I truly do believe in community. I think that community is key literally in everything. It takes a village in general with whatever you're doing, whether that's motherhood, being an adult as a whole, a business owner, all of it. Um, I love the community aspect of it too, where you can just meet other people that are very similar situations that we are. And sometimes you don't even know that, right? You'll like get like this like little conversation starting. You're like, oh, they've gone through something very similar to what I've gone through. Maybe not the exact same thing, but so similar where you're like, oh, okay. You can connect in that aspect and like grow a relationship and a friendship, things like that. I find it actually easier to get more of the friendships as an adult, being able to go to these community things and connecting with other women that have similar passions, right? A lot of the groups that we happen to be into, they're business owners in some aspects. So there's like a good connection point right there in itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a great way to find like-minded women. And I think just when you get to see what's possible in real life, you're right out there. I think it, at least for me, that was very motivating to be like you said, if even if I didn't believe in myself enough to say everything is figure outable, seeing other women believe that things are figure outable made me actually start believing it too. So I think another thing, speaking of just this confidence that I'm seeing in you and that I'm hearing about your ability to figure things out, how did you
Mhm.
feel about this confidence too, though, that okay, you got laid off, that's a big financial hit. So how did you, besides okay, confidence that everything is figure outable, the confidence that everything is going to be all right in the end?
So that took me a minute because I am very, when it comes to money, I'm like kind of a feeling. And I've been working with Leslie as well for my nervous system kind of aspect of it
Love.
as like a whole. And that has helped me tremendously because it's going to be okay, right? It's just a moment in time, right? Like we all can figure out how to get more money in some form, if that's part-time target, whatever it is, right? Or like, luckily, God bless, I do have my husband who's working and he has like a really good job that's, pretty stable in that way. Um, but it helps too, to be honest with you, he's not freaking out. So I have somebody also in my corner who's not freaking out because I think if he was freaking out, I'd be like, oh my God, okay, like just I'll go find any kind of job kind of a thing too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like he also has my back of like, hey, you want to do this, go for it. Like you don't need to go back to the corporate world. Like, and like that's like the biggest support. And I have other friends and family, right? Like I know like you believe in me too. You're like, hey, Mickey, you've got this.
Mm-hmm.
Like we've got like Caitlin, like there's different people I've gotten in my corner too that they have so much confidence in me that like it helps me. It's like I'm like rubbing off of everyone else's confidence in me. I'm like, okay, yeah, you guys are right. I got this. Like, that really does help to have that community aspect too as a whole because you may not believe in yourself in the moment, oh, because something might be hard, but because somebody else has that faith in you, you could feed off of it.
Wow. Again, the power of community and like support systems, right? But also deeper for you, I love that your partner, in this case, your life partner, your husband, is so supportive. I think that's not that, hopefully like more and more women are waking up to that, the importance of having that your life partner really be someone who supports your dreams, right? Not everyone is fortunate enough to have that. So I love that you have been very intentional with who you've chosen and that he is so supportive of you, because that is awesome. It's just like one less thing to have to worry about. And
Yeah.
and you're feeding off that energy too, like you said, vice versa. You could have fed off of the fear. Instead,
Yeah.
you're feeding off this confidence, and I love that. I think that it's important too to mention that, I mean, it's very likely because, and I know you, and because we went to the retreat together, and I did get to hear a little bit about how you were feeling in your paralegal career. So maybe talk a little bit about why you think that, whether it's you or your husband are saying, don't go back, like move forward, don't go back. So why were you, what were you feeling in your career, and what made you want to make this switch?
So in my career as a whole, I was being burnt out and not being appreciated for the stuff that I was doing. So for sure it's the burnt out feeling. I know my husband would see it like it was like a, I don't want to call it complaining moments after work or when you're clocked out kind of thing, but it kind of ended up becoming that way. And he can see the drainness in me, all that stuff. And I was towards like the last maybe 7 months, like miserable working. You're like, I guess it's just, it pays the bills. I just got to do what I got to do kind of thing. Um, so, and then the vice versa, right? When I come like from an event, right? I go to for passion threads and I go do stuff for that. I'm like coming home and like energy galore and all this stuff. And you think like, okay, she's going to be exhausted. She's been doing that for 4 or 5 hours. No, because that lights me up, right? So it's like him also seeing that. He's like, yeah, you're not going back to corporate. Like corporate literally is draining you. Like this is not for you. It's that burnt out feeling. And like, my energy level was just not there and I wasn't being appreciated for the actual work that I was doing. And I hated that.
I this is so validating. I'm so glad that you, I don't know, in a way, isn't this like a blessing in disguise that you were already feeling that this wasn't where you wanted to be? You were already feeling underappreciated, burnt out, and this is not aligned. So, in a way, like, I'm curious, even though this layoff was obviously a shock, in a way, was it also like, oh, I'm so glad they made the decision for me? Or when do you think you would have made the decision to leave if it hadn't been kind of forced upon you?
So I don't think I would have ever left on my own. To be honest with you, I would just stretch myself thin, do a full-time job, do the VA stuff, do passion threads. So it was literally the blessing in disguise that I needed. And it was more like a thanks for letting me go because now I can move forward with my business full time.
I
Yes,
love
honey.
that. Yeah, you're like, just watch me. Just watch.
Yes. Yes. And I do have that mindset too because I've had people growing up, right? Oh, you can't do that. Oh, you won't be able to do that. I'm like, watch me. No,
Watch
I
me.
can't. Watch me.
Mickey, I think you just came up with your next shirt if you don't have that already. Watch
There
me.
you go. Watch me.
Let's actually talk about that a little bit more too, because like we've just been glossing over a little bit. What is passion threads, right? Like, let's go backwards. What, like, when did you start that? What made you start that? And talk to us a little bit about the saying. Specifically, right now you're wearing a shirt that says "Nope" with a period. So, talk to us about passion threads. What inspired you to start it? What, like, tell us a little bit more about passion threads, and then maybe the meaning behind the shirt you're wearing.
Okay. So for passion threads, I started that about like 3.5 years ago. Honestly, I can't remember the date, but it feels like 3 years. It's probably more than 3 years. And that one started because I personally was feeling down upon myself or not like worthy. There's no self worth with that. Dove myself so much into my son that I forgot who I was as a individual woman, right? Um, so of course, while I was doing like workouts, things like that in my gym, I have a mirror and I would write motivational sayings in there or on my mirror and repeat them to myself. And I was like, you know what, these sayings are really strong. They're helping me. They should be on something for other people, right? And it's like a conversation starter. People see it, they'd be like, what's that about? Right. So, like, for example, like, nope, period, right? It's like we all, as women in general, I think we tend to say yes to so much stuff. And it's like yes to things that we don't want to be doing most of the time. Instead of saying nope or no, right? Period. It doesn't matter, right? I just do nope. But like, we need to be able to truly select the things that we really want to do that really brings us joy in life because if not we say yes to all these things, we're half-assed going to these things, we're half-assed there mentally, which is like we're not fully there because we don't really want to be there. So that's the whole nope part of it because I think we always say yes to everything. And I feel like 50% of our yeses, we don't even want to go to those places, or whatever we said yes to. We're like, oh, damn it, why did we say that? That's just that's really how I feel with that kind of part, you know?
Mhm.
So there's fun saying sorry, not sorry. That's like a little fun one that we have. The unstoppable together. One that Grestia, you were kind of wanting is do it afraid, right? Anyways,
Yep.
so there's such fun sayings, and I'm also like really open now to also start collaborating with other women, like how I did with like Liz with her collab, because I think what it is too is people have this idea of what they want, but maybe they don't want to like do the whole back end stuff of it, right? And like learn a whole websiting thing, or how do you get this to work? That's me. I'm your girl right there, because I love the collaboration portion of it. It's fun and it gets your unique idea out there as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, I love that. There's a lot there. So I think one of the things is it ties into your solutions by Mickey because you just mentioned like, hey, whether it's passion threads or solutions by Mickey, you thrive in the back end. You really,
Oh,
really
yeah.
do. And by the way, this is anywhere from like setting up an event, because I've seen you, to like, yeah, like event logistics and event setup to and coordination and planning to like, like I don't know, the back end like client journey and like customer onboarding and things like that. Anywhere to passion threads, like, okay, you business owner, you have this beautiful vision of the saying you want out there, you want to promote with merchandise, with physical, clothes, but you don't want to deal with where do I source the clothing, how do I put my saying on it, let's get an e-commerce website set up. Like that's where Mickey, you come in. So I actually
Yeah.
think it was this beautiful tie-in that is more recent where you're finding this skill set is like applicable across different areas.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And to the note piece of it, I just think it's very important. You mentioned how, like, I'll get vulnerable for a second too and just tell you, like, real life right now, what I'm feeling today, I am finding myself starting to burn out because I'm finding myself stretching myself too thin
Mm.
back into a situation where I'm not feeling aligned because just like what you said, you were going with your corporate career and trying to build two, not even just one, two businesses on the side, right? Passion Threads and then Solutions by Mickey. Right now, as it stands today, as the recording, I'm feeling myself stretched thin by doing corporate, this podcast, There She Goes, and Italy Brides, my wedding planning community. And I just think it was very telling to me that you said I probably would have kept going and I would have kept stretching myself too thin until like who knows, until indefinitely, right? So I
Yeah.
just think that was a beautiful reminder to me and to you and to other women out there. There is a time where you have to listen to yourself and just say nope, like that's enough, and we can't just keep saying yes to everything, or else it becomes self betrayal.
Yeah. I agree. And it's no longer aligned, right? You're not taking care of yourself anymore. It's all that kind of stuff. And then I truly believe that we're not there fully for anything anymore, right? Your corporate business, your regular stuff that you want to actually do, right? Like Italy Brides, you're not even, it's like then you're halfway there for each of these things
Mm-hmm.
because you're stretched so thin. You're like, well, where do I put my energy? I'm like 50% right now. So, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this is so good. And I think speaking of stretching your energy and like balancing a bunch of demands, going a little bit back to where you mentioned that you were a single mom when your son was growing up, but yet you still found a way to balance. I know workouts are very important to you. And so you balanced like workouts. Talk to us a little bit about how you did that, what that looks like for you, that non-negotiable, and then talk to me a little bit about something fun about your crown wearing cold plunges.
Okay, so my non-negotiable for myself is like moving my body and taking care of myself in that way. And I truly enjoy lifting weights. So for me to balance that, I was actually waking up early in the mornings. I would do like 5 a.m. workouts. Um, then that way I could actually be with my son. But now also as he's gotten older, it's been like a little easier, plus working on my nervous system, things like that, of like he's fine by himself for like a little bit. So I don't wake up at 5 in the morning anymore. It's like a 5:45, which is like freaking amazing because I've been doing 5 a.m.s or 4:30 for so long that my body is like done with it. Um, but it's still like my non-negotiable. So if I don't like do that first thing in the morning, I notice a difference. So I try to really do it first thing. And then, yeah, like a fun fact, I literally have a cold plunge in my gym that I have. And yes, I do sit there with a crown and I will put it on to go in the cold plunge. It's like a fun little like confidence booster, especially if you haven't done it in a while. Cause like I've actually taken a break for the last 3 weeks. It's just been something. So when I have to hop back in there, I'm gonna have to put that crown on to get myself a little boost to be able to get in that 55-degree water, you know?
Oh my gosh, I love that. I
Yeah.
think it speaks to, and this is something I wanted to mention too, but not just like, so the clothing and the clothing line that you have with these inspirational sayings, but with this, the crown that you put on when you're doing the cold plunge, it all speaks to embodying the kind of person and the kind of woman that you are becoming and the kind of woman that you are or want to be. But I think the best way to do that is to physically embody it, right? And one of the best ways to do that is wearing a shirt, wearing a crown, just this actual clothing or something that you can tangibly feel, that's a way of embodying her, right?
Yeah. No, I really love that. That's actually a really good way of saying it. And it's not like when you get there, it's do it now, right?
Mm-hmm.
We might have this thought of like, but we want to be there, like, or I want to do it now. Just do it now.
Mm-hmm. Well, I love this. So, at least from the passion thread side, I think we'll move on and start talking a little bit about solutions by Mikki. But just so you
Yeah.
all know, if you want one of these collections, Mikki has graciously offered, there she goes, listeners, 10% off your first order in the collection. And my personal favorite, like you said, is the be afraid, do it anyways. Because that's the saying that really, that's for me. Like, I need that. And I did buy it. Not only that, I actually bought a sweater for my best friend and I sent it to her as a surprise. She loves it, and I promise you, she said, besides the fact that it's like super like snug, like, and like something to cuddle with, I sent it to her when she was going through like interviews that she was really nervous about. But and so I literally sent it to her to give her that energy of like, be afraid, do it anyway, like shoot your shot, and just know, like, honestly, just the majority of the women in my family and friend groups at this point are wearing one of your collections. So,
I love it. I love it.
well, so talk to us then a little bit about what it's like for you, or like what sparked the idea for Solutions by Mikki. We talked a little bit about how your paralegal background lends itself to, Solutions by Mikki. Same with recognizing your skill set and passion threads in the back end of things. But like, what sparked this idea, and how is it going for you?
So actually, it was when we were at Joshua Tree as like a retreat, and I was like explaining to people it's like how I was feeling with the paralegal stuff. And a couple of the girls over there were like, "Hey, well, why don't you do this instead? Like maybe you could do like a virtual assistant, or you can put your background into this area." It was nice to hear because sometimes I think as individuals, whatever we are currently like the title we have on us, we think we have to continue with that path, and that's not the reality. Um, so it was nice to be in a room full of women saying, "Hey, maybe go in this venture," right? And I'm going with it. I love also helping women in general. Like I'm very fast paced myself kind of a thing. And I feel like I see problems before people could even see it. It's what like I'm already like seeing the solution to something somebody can't even see the problem too. So that like naturally I'm like, oh, I should so do like VA stuff, helping people on the back end of their business. Like that's like my zone of genius, right? Like organizing stuff, like figuring out like a filing system or whatever. Like I can probably help people with onboarding in the way of like more efficient than what they're currently doing and or even save them money. People don't realize how many programs that they have that are actually overlapping and you're paying for multiple things. Anyways, that's like my thing of visually being able to see stuff because I think I'm on the outside of a business for that individual. Um and yeah, I think it's it's fun to be able to be like a partner to somebody else's business and help them grow and be just as invested as that individual is as I am invested in my own business.
Mhm.
I'm not the type to just be like a little task here. Like, no, I'm like, okay, well, what else can I help you with? Like, or I could probably do this too. Like, like get this off your plate and then you can have more capacity to do really what's your true zone of genius, right? It's not for everybody to do the admin portion of it or that organizational skill portion of it when you can go and get another client or do like another one-on-one with somebody, right? Because we all have the same 24 hours. How do we use it?
Mhm. I think that speaks to the episode that I mentioned, which actually happens to be where I mentioned you and Liz. It's the episode There She Goes Learning to Delegate. This is something I personally struggle with as a woman, as a business owner, as, in general. So learning to delegate and the importance, I think that's one of the biggest things that I really learned last year too. And it's something I continuously learn. But I just want to mention how it's when you do learn to delegate, it's just this huge weight off your shoulders. And it's not a cost, it's an investment because now you've freed up your time to do the things that are going to give you that are going to make those sales, that are going to, market the product or offer you have, etc. So I'm all for it, but it is something new for myself too, to learn how to
Yeah.
delegate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Oh, and I also love that you called it, like, you don't just say Mikki virtual assistant. You named it Solutions by Mikki because you just mentioned that that's what you do. You find solutions to things.
Yes. Yeah. I think the name tied in perfectly. And it's for the fact of like, I tend to just find solutions for any little problem. It's like even in my own house, right? I'm like, oh, that's not working. Okay, hold on. Like, let's figure out how to troubleshoot this really quick. It's like I have that like troubleshooting mindset, I guess, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Back to the everything is figureoutable, literally.
E- Exactly.
You're just validating that women, like, ooh, and especially mothers, I think, but women were such, like, we're so powerful. Like, we're just like kind of a little bit of everywhere. We do a little bit of everything, and then as a mom, oh, I feel like tenfold.
Yeah. Yeah. I think just being a woman in general, and then of course, like you said, being a mom is like a whole nother level. But I think just as a woman, as a whole, we do a lot of things and without even realizing how much we do, truthfully.
Yeah. So, Mickey, I'm really curious. What are you most grateful for that has helped you during this like forced season of transition and change?
I am truly grateful for the support that I have with my husband, number one, truthfully. And I I'll be a little vulnerable. Like with my son right now, he's very like kind of like, Mom, are you not gonna go back to work kind of thing? Like, cause he's so used to like, and I'm like, no, it's gonna be he's like, okay, Mom. And he's actually interested in like what I'm doing. So it's fun to watch my son being interested in the things I'm doing. He's realizing, oh, Mom's happier. Like this is better for her. And like it literally like I don't want to cry, but like,
I want to cry.
it's 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 fun to see because I really never thought I would get to this point. I am probably at one of the happiest points of my life by this forced transition in a way. But the support that I have from family and friends, especially those that know, right? They're actually interested, like, oh, how is the business going? Did you get any more clients? Like, or how is the work? Like all of it, because they want me to be happy, and they're seeing that like going into this route, I'm being in more of that aspect of it, like really embodying the person I want to be at the end of the day. And yeah, I mean the community aspect of all of it, my immediate family, my mom, my aunt, my husband, and my son. I mean, it's just crazy to see my son. That's like a huge reflection for me. So yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I got tears in my eyes, and you don't even know, like, wow, like, you do these, like, for me, it's like, I'm hosting this podcast. I don't always get to hear what people are thinking, right? And I don't know if it's going to make a change in someone's life, but you are already making a change in my life. And you know what? I think everybody would probably love to hear what's going to go on in the green room after this because I'm like, oh, I'm going to have a conversation with you. I might be having to make some decisions of my own related to my career. But I think this was very, very healing for me to hear, very validating because notice, like, okay, when we first talked about the layoff, it's like, yes, the first freak out is like financially, what am I gonna do? Right? It's like,
Yeah.
oh my god, of course. And then of course wrestling with the worthiness feelings of like, wait, why did this happen? Like, did I do something to deserve this? And that was not the case at all. But then it went to, well, now I'm confident that money will come one way or another. I will figure this out. But most importantly is where you just are now. You are happier. And the
Yeah.
happier, you're also probably healthier from a nervous system regulation standpoint. You are now happier and healthier, which are way more valuable than being stressed out but making ends meet kind of thing, you know? So I just think you really validated that, but also the beauty of your son not only getting to witness you be happier and healthier and your family, but your son also now recognizing that, there's more out there than maybe just the 9 to 5 that I've always known, right? So, like, this is, and your son's 14, or did he
Yeah,
just
he's
turn
14.
15?
Yeah, he's
Okay.
14.
So he's 14, right? He's still early on in the high school career, but you are teaching him earlier on that when he does get to that senior year, when he does get to the age where you have to start figuring out, am I going to college? Am I going to do a job? Am I like, where am I going? You are showing him that there's more than one option. And like as a mom, what could be more powerful than being like, son, you've got options, and figure out what actually makes you happy, and show him that you are not just talking the talk, you walk the walk.
Yeah. Yeah. I
That's
love that.
beautiful.
Hmm.
And speaking of just your support system, sometimes we do hear from some business owners where, and I'm sure that'll come your way, but thankfully it sounds like most of your family and like friendships are not this way, but you'll hear things like, how's the little business going? Or like, oh, like you're not going to go find a job, or just these little maybe passive aggressive comments or criticisms that are really coming from their own projected fears. So I
Right.
love to hear that they're not saying, they're genuinely curious, like, how are you doing? How is it going? Like, and how can I help?
Yeah. And I love that because it gives me one more ounce of like the boost of confidence, right? I'm not hearing the, how's that little thing that you started? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's literally like all my family and friends. It's like, how's Passion Threads going? How's Solution? Like, it's like, well, how's the business going? Right? It's not this like, how's this like little side hustle that you've been doing? Like, no. It may have started off in that way in the very beginning, working a corporate job on top of it, but it's no longer that way, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I love that. And even like you reminding me, I don't hear those things, which is truly a blessing because I know that probably other people out there in general hear that. And it's not easy to hear because what we're doing is, first of all, not easy to start anything from ground zero and up on your own, all that stuff. It takes guts to do whatever you're really passionate about or have even an ounce of, like, it's like an ounce of passion. Like if your thought is like, or something that's really at your heart that you want to do, I truly believe go for it. Because if not, I feel like you're going to regret it in life if you didn't even try. You can always stop. You can always pivot. You can say, you know what, that didn't work. I'm not doing that again. I know I don't like it, but just try.
I love that. You mentioned an ounce of passion. I'm gonna call it a thread of passion.
Ooh, I love that. I love
Oh
that.
gosh. So, Mikki, this has been an amazing episode. Seriously, I'm already loving your episode. I'm so excited to put this out into the world. Like, you already touched me. It happened to be something that I really needed to hear. And so I'm sure somebody out there also needs to hear this. So, before we wrap up, what would you love for listeners to take away from this conversation?
Okay, truthfully, kind of what I was just saying a second ago. If something's at your heart, go for it. There's never a right time to start something. Now is the right time. Life's too short. Go for it. If you're unsure about how to do something, reach out to somebody. I can almost guarantee there's going to be somebody out there that's willing to help you. And they're not doing it like, I need the money. Like, there's genuine people out there like, I got your back. Like, I will help you start this, or I will give you the guidance, or what. it's people do exchanges for services, all that kind of stuff. I mean, there's always a possibility, right? So don't let like money hold you back. Don't let anything hold you back. There's always a way to do it if you really want it.
Thank you so much, Mikki. How can people connect with you?
On Instagram, that's kind of the only place I'm at, Mikki.McCleery. And I have my website, passionthreadsco.com. And I'd love for any listeners to sign up to my newsletter. I always have like fun, different, like motivational things in there too. And that would be another way of connecting as well. So, yeah.
I, by the way, can vouch for that. I'm on her newsletter and I genuinely love it. Like, you give us like little sneak peeks into your life, and I love that you tie it into a life lesson that you've learned, anywhere from like starting to cook or, the most recent events, with your son or the layoff. Like, we really find out about Mikki. So I really
Yes.
recommend it. It's really powerful. So, and yeah, you put some effort into that. It's not just like an email, like a regular email newsletter. Like, it really is like your own, I guess similar to a Substack, or your own like, content creation that we get to see behind the scenes of your life. So I really enjoy it.
Yeah, it's for sure
So,
the more than the Instagram portion of it. You get to know me a little bit more through my emails than Instagram.
yep, exactly. Awesome. Well, thank you so, so much, Mikki, for joining the show. And I encourage everybody, go check out Mikki's Passion Threads line. Take advantage of your 10% off your first order. Make sure if you need VA services, check out Solutions by Mikki. And then, like she said, go follow on Instagram and subscribe to her newsletter. Thank you so much, Mikki. I'm so excited for people to hear this message.
Well, thank you for having me. Yay!
Bye bye. Till next time.